Where I'm from, you learn early that nobody's coming to save you. You stand up. You grind. You fight for every inch.
What's up, everybody out there? It's your host, Tiny Cross-H.U.G. Welcome to the Trumped Up Live show. Today is an interesting day because I'm working with two different scenarios, right? The scenario we're going to work with today, we're going to start off with the spot. This is with your boy Tyrone out of Louisiana. And pretty much this is what he got to talk about with regards to these street vendors.
Black brothers and sisters on the West Coast, especially the vendors, are saying no more to these illegal Mexican vendors, thinking they can just set up shop in black neighborhoods on black property without permission or a license. Check it out.
Go get the permission from the pastor. The pastor's right over there. Go get permission. I'm not going to tell you again. I'm not going to tell you again. I'm not going to tell you again. I'm not going to tell you again.
Ahora ya
I have
todos
to come back down here.
son dueños de las calles.
The pastor is right there. I told him, go get his permission. You cannot be on his land without going get. Go ask permission. Okay, I ain't gonna tell you no more. Okay. That was your last warning. Your last warning, homeboy. That's the last warning.
¿Alguien sabe qué me dijo?
See, this is why they get up, y'all. This is why we don't care anybody sell out here, but sell to our people. This ain't cool. I'm telling him in his face it ain't cool, homeboy. You want to film it? We gonna film it too.
So I guess the boy was out here doing a live TikTok on church property. It looked like it might be somewhere out there in like Lancaster or something. Right, it's Lancaster, California. However, you got a problem with the boy being out there selling street vending food on church property. I guess he does some type of work with the church. However, it's a black church. And I'm gonna let him continue because you'll get more of a full drawn out story after if I just let him continue. But
I got a problem with you, bro. I got a problem. I'm filming you too. I ain't gotta touch you. I'm filming you too. Go get the church's permission to be out here. That's all we telling you. And anybody bothering you around this, we might attack them. You don't support it, homie. Y'all can't come to our property and keep doing that. We don't go nowhere that you guys go and set up none of our food. Nowhere. So if you want to get out, we're going to get out. Letting you know. We're going to get out. We're going to get out. Let me see your license, too. We're going to get out, bro. Trying to tell you ignorant. What's up, world? Yeah, I woke up this morning with some disturbing news for all the Mexicans saying that I'm a bully and I'm trying to bully you. No, got that wrong. I wish y'all would stop perpetrating, and all you black people out there that think I'm doing it on purpose. No, let me tell you the story. We don't have no room for error. Y'all not hiring our black kids. Y'all coming to our community, can't speak English. You're selling corn for $6 and selling it to your people for $3. You own shopping carts. The laws ain't doing nothing. Also, all we said was have your license and ask for permission from the pastor because that's his land. We don't care if you make money. Y'all been making money all day long. Y'all at the CVS's all night long. Y'all at the gas station. Y'all at the tire shops. Y'all everywhere. Do you think black people get that same opportunity? And then y'all not helping our kids do I didn't hire some of you Mexicans. They told me what y'all was doing. So no, we don't want you on our property like that. So black people, if y'all not standing up for something, stand up for that. I'm not gonna back down. No, have your license. If somebody gets sick or something, they ain't got nowhere to contact. But y'all all on Facebook and all on that Twitter talking that bitch. I'm about that life too, homie. But I choose to praise God and praise these kids in our neighborhood. And if y'all don't like that, y'all think I'm a bully? No, ain't no being a bully. It's being a black man that's concerned. So yeah, if y'all think I'm bullying, you got the churches calling me, talking all this, but they ain't showing you what they do. They can't go to no white neighborhood and do this. They can't go to the white neighborhood and just take over. We don't own in that neighborhood. Not the liquor store, not the gas station, not nothing. We don't own nothing over in that neighborhood but that little piece of land that I've been keeping clean for almost 13 years. My job is make sure these kids is educated. Y'all don't have no place in Vegas where a kid can come and get a free taco, get something free to eat if they ain't got no money.
You know, I'm more concerned about how we we come in these stores, right, and we appreciate you. We don't daunt on your culture so much so that we come and we spend money on you and you charge us extra for the items that we come purchase for you. That's more of an insult than anything because when I stopped, I actually stopped being a consumer of so many different establishments that are owned by the Hispanic community for this purpose. You'll sit there and you'll tag something. And I don't go to, major, markets, gas stations particularly is well known for doing this, where the cashier will mark up the price. If you notice, if you go to like a gas station, a lot of times there's no pricing on a lot of the items in there. So I don't purchase something if there's not a price on it. And it's for this purpose because they'll mark up the price on you. And it's like, why would you want to do that when I have enough respect for you to come in and be a consumer of your products and you don't have enough respect for me to actually have consideration that I work for this money just as hard as you trying to work. And so it's just crazy that it's bothersome because I had to stop going uh, into a lot of establishments because of that purpose, and it's just sad.
Y'all keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm standing my ground so y'all can say all that funny But West Side stand up. West Side of Las Vegas, y'all need to stand up. Y'all letting these and they ain't giving you no job and y'all still.
Correction, it's not excuse me, it's not Lancaster. It seemingly looked like Lancaster with a lot of desert around, but I guess that is in Las Vegas. My brother in Las Vegas, he told me how they be acting out there as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad because we go through the same thing, and it'd be like the same thing that he going through in Las Vegas. Here I am going through in the city of Los Angeles, to where you know they just disrespectful, like to the point to where more than a couple times, me and my brother, got into it with him over issues. And actually, they didn't want it at the end, but because my bro is my bro. But it's just sad that the same thing he's going through out in Las Vegas is the same thing that pretty much we've been going through for decades with regards to the respect level of just, I guess the culture is different. And that culture tends to speak itself when these barriers that have to be met in between, like United States have a different like space level than China, for instance, where China people are used to being in close confinement with each other, and so they'll end up being close to you a lot more And so it's the same thing with primarily Hispanic community, where if you walking down the street, bro, if you walking down the street and you move out their way, they feel like they hired you. So I don't move out the way no more. If you we gonna bump, we gonna get down, we gonna get down. But at the same time, because I know the culture, I don't necessarily move out the way. I might say excuse me, but if I feel like you gonna bump me like you want that, like you don't understand that we as Americans, we can tell if you purposely want to walk into us, bump into us, or whatever. And so, coming from that culture of understanding, oh, you did that on purpose. Well, then you can get that on purpose. All right, right?
I support the brother
I'm gonna let the boy
110%,
Tyrone
man.
speak before I move on.
Straight up. And more of us need to do this. Because, see, these vendors, they're only in our neighborhoods and on our property without permission. Because where they're coming from in their own neighborhoods, they're being extorted by the Mexican gang members. And so they think they can come over to our space and disrespect us without even asking permission or without even saying thank you. If left to their own demise in their own section, they'd be getting extorted, man. They'd be losing money. You guys need to stop buying food from people who don't got license. You don't know what you can catch from that stuff, man. And like my man said, if you do catch something, who you gonna complain about? A lot of these dudes are illegal. And this brother right here, he owns his own stand, his own truck. You understand me? Licensed, everything. Gives out free food when needed to the community. If he's setting up shop by this church, he's asking the pastor. But as you can see, me don't know English. He don't understand the concept of respect in these lands, especially on the black man and woman's land. Shit's absurd, man. Excuse my French.
I want to move on from Tyrone because it goes into a deeper issue to where so many of us Americans can understand the fact that, you know, if it was a black vendor, and you know, Nip Hustle was a primarily example of that, and I bring this story up because his story is a lot more well known to where he was constantly getting picked up by the police with regards to being a street vendor, with regards to selling T-shirts without a license and stuff like that on the street. Something that is not too detrimental to your health, but yet and still, because he decided to be a street vendor and sell his product on the street, he constantly was getting his stuff confiscated by the police, right? And in Los Angeles, we constantly see a thing to where we can see 3-4 taco trucks. I mean, 3-4 street vendors on 4 blocks. And what I mean by blocks, in 4 blocks in one intersection. And the police just simply does nothing. Now, it just goes to shows the level of disrespect that comes to the harassment of black people and what we be going through in this country. And for instance, why in this on this particular issue we might be fed up. I want to move on from Tyrone. I want to go into somebody else because it gets a little deeper, because you got to understand that this is a political issue. How they are allowed to set up a street vending and sell tacos, which might be detrimental to a person's health, but yet and still they have the legal right to do so in some odd way. Hold on. Let me get it over there to you right quick. Oh, it's not playing. My bad, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Tap on in for the show. Oh man, let's get it. You already know we with it. King Supreme in the building. How y'all feeling this morning, man? It's Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday.
Come on, man, get to it.
It's a beautiful day. Salute, salute, salute. Hey, Chris, shout out to you, man. Chris sent me that video, man. Shout out to Chris for sending me the video, man. He sent me the video about the Latinos cooking and working in soul food restaurants.
So yeah, he's going to talk about the Latinos. Uh, I guess Karen Bass, right, is being a gatekeeper for street vending with regards to the Latinos on the streets of Los Angeles. Particularly on the streets of Los Angeles right now. So this is why I go into this, because it's like how they are allowed to do this when we recognized for so long that if you didn't have a brick and mortar store, that this was illegal, even into the fact of where you were selling T-shirts.
And what I want people to know is this, man. This ain't about no racism. This is just about reality. Now, let me tell you something. If you want good soul food, you gotta have black folks cooking it. Let me tell you something, black folks. Hiring Latinos to work at soul food restaurants, you're trying to save money. This is why you're hiring these illegals. But guess what? You're gonna destroy your brand and business because guess what? Mexicans don't know how to cook soul food like black folks. Just like black folks can't cook Mexican food like Mexicans. But guess what you don't see? You're not going to see black people working in Mexican restaurants being chefs and cooks. You're not going to see.
And that is most definitely true. And I go into this because, man, I just came from a fish restaurant last night after I had watched this video, right? I came from a fish restaurant last night, got some fish. The fish was not right. Um, the taste wasn't there, right? The season wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? There was a lady who had complained about, man, listen, put some extra seasoning on it for me. And they decided to go ahead and put the seasoning on the outside of the meat instead of cooking it with the meat. She complained, brought the food back, and they had to recook it with the extra seasoning, not putting the seasoning on afterwards. But when I went into this restaurant, it just made me just reminisce on how these used to be black people restaurants, black people cooking, black people food. And it's no disrespect, but at the same time, it made me just miss our culture so much so that used to be able to go to a rib shack and to be black people in there. Um, this is what I grew up with, right? And it's been so long since I've seen that in the city of Los Angeles to where people are just not hiring. And I know chefs. I know a lot of black, uh, you know, culinary individuals who went to school, you know, took the time to actually go ahead and learn the trade. And here they is, they not able to get employment out here in the city of Los Angeles because those jobs are being filled. And every so often I find a chef everything, you know. However, it's not like what it used to be out here in Los Angeles when it comes to the experience of the black culture, the full experience of the black culture. I'm gonna let him continue.
That. Why? Because Mexican people want authentic Mexican food. So it makes sense. Now, when I was in Atlanta in 2025, right? Just last year. I've seen Mexicans working in soul food restaurants. Not talking about California, I'm talking about Atlanta, Georgia. And I said, whoa, they even got illegals out here working in soul food restaurants, right? So that's just one of them things. And that's the name of the game. And if black folks in Los Angeles, now let's go back to Los Angeles. If black folks in Los Angeles don't be careful, Mexicans are going to gentrify Baldwin Hills. They're going to gentrify the Crenshaw district. Black folks, you got to gatekeep those communities because those are the only communities you got left. Windsor Hills, Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, the Crenshaw district. Those are the only black. We only have a few black communities that's left in Los Angeles. So once you lose the Crenshaw district and Baldwin Hills, it's over for black folks in Los Angeles. You should never allow another group of people who are not black to put businesses in the Crenshaw district, to put businesses in Baldwin Hills. They're going to gentrify your communities. Makes no sense. Then let me tell you this. You can't go to East LA and put up no black restaurant and think they're gonna buy your food. You can't go to Southgate and put a black restaurant up and think the Mexicans gonna buy your food. You can't go to.
I won't say that's necessarily true, but it's rare that you will see something like that. Nowadays. I mean, from food trucks to restaurants. He's right. You don't see any black people working in Mexican restaurants or Peruvian restaurants or Salvadorian restaurants or none of that, right? They generally just don't hire black people, even if it's a black female. It's besides of the fact of a black male being a man, and the threat of a man coming in to, just assert some sort of dominance, because black men are very aggressive. Our women get known for the aggressiveness that they have, but our black men are very not necessarily aggressive, but they know how to assert themselves for their respect when it's needed to. So I hope this video just gets along, but
El Monte and put up a black restaurant or a black business and think the Mexicans gonna spend their money. You can't go to any predominant Mexican Latino community in Los Angeles and put a black business there and think you're gonna thrive and think the Mexican people are gonna spend their money with you. It's not gonna happen. So listen, homie, when it comes to, think about what I'm saying. Black people, we're not racist, but at the same time, we got to be mindful of what we're doing. We got to gatekeep our communities. Baldwin Hills and the Crenshaw district is all we have left in Los Angeles. Once that's gone, it is over. Stop allowing Latinos to put businesses in predominant black communities. You can't put a black business in a predominant Latino.
I'm gonna move ahead a little bit because I need him to speak with regards to Karen Bass and this lady right here.
Now that's food for thought. That's something for y'all to think about. Let's go to the beginning. Shout out to the sister.
This next story is coming to us from Los Angeles, California, brought to...
Shout out to Demetri K, man. Demetri K, shout out to my girl, man. She been doing her thing, man. Check out this story. And this right here is confirmation of what I've been talking about. Check game.
Us by the Black Vanguard, also known as Brother Raymond, part of Africa Town Coalition, and they bring a lot of awareness to the foolishness that's going on in Los Angeles, California regarding the Democratic Party and just a whole host of other things, right? Now, this video is going to highlight, I guess, a night in Los Angeles, and there is a taco stand there, and I want you to listen to Brother Raymond and what he has to say about it. Check it out.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm on Crenshaw and Stocker. You got the Mexicans set up tacos right over here. See, when all the black people setting up barbecue joints up and down Crenshaw and all the other stuff, they was harassing.
Man, listen, this is Crenshaw and Stocker. Now, this is was a predominant black community. Once you start seeing Mexicans put taco shops and on Crenshaw, it's a wrap. That's like me going to East LA on Cesar Chavez Boulevard and putting um a barbecue stand right there. It's not gonna work. You know why? Because you don't have a significant black pop. You don't have a population out there to cater to. Mexicans are not going to buy your food. There's no blacks in the area to buy your food. Now, on the flip side, let me tell you this. On Stocker and Crenshaw, not only do you got a lot of black people living over there, you also have a lot of Mexicans living over there. So guess what? This is how they're going to win. Black folks are going to buy tacos from these people. The Mexicans in this community are going to buy tacos for these people. So guess what? Mexicans become successful selling tacos, selling food in black communities. Now, this is Crenshaw and Stocker. 20 years ago, you would have never seen no taco stand. Let me tell you guys something. 20 years ago, you would have never seen a taco stand on Crenshaw Boulevard. When you pull up to Crenshaw Boulevard, you're supposed to see chicken wings and barbecue ribs. Not no Mexicans selling tacos on Crenshaw. This is crazy.
That just goes to show you the demographic shift that has happened in the city of Los Angeles, which is like, man, it's like, wow, bro. It's unbelievable how the Los Angeles that I knew, grew up and was raised in, bro, is just so different. And it's almost like a laughing stock because it's almost like it's happened purposely, right? And like he's saying, like, let a brother or something go up in there and start, you know, a street vending shack right there in the middle of the night. It's happening all over the place nowadays. A lot of times, you know, most recently, it's been a year since I actually seen somebody get actually somebody called like the health department on a brother, and had the health department. It was police came, told him that he couldn't necessarily cook out there on the streets like that. And the brother told him like he wasn't cooking out there on the streets to sell. Only way that he was actually cooking for somebody if they bring the food and, you know, he prepare it and cook everything for him. So, and he stayed in business. He kept on doing business, but he couldn't be necessarily on the street doing it. He had to be in the confines of his property. So it's just, you know, just thinking about that, like, right? And it's not to be hateful. It's just like, what is the difference between us and what is the difference between them?
Let me be quiet.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm on Crenshaw and Stocker. You got the Mexicans set up tacos right over here. See, when all the black people setting up barbecue joints up and down Crenshaw and all the other stuff, they was harassing all the black people that was setting up barbecue joints over here and shit. But they allowed the Mexicans set up freely up and down our community. This part of a racial that's going on in our community and stuff. And we definitely need to fight and stand up against this right over here. Because we can't go to East LA, Southgate, Hunter Park, and El Zuzan Monte. And you think this man's gonna allow black people to set up a barbecue joint or soul food place in their communities? Though this ain't gonna happen, though. So you definitely stand up against this shit.
So as you saw there, he is illustrating that the Latinos are free to set up their taco stands or whatever it is. But when
Make sure that you guys bless the like button. I know we got a lot of hate watchers, but bless that damn like button. Y'all act like people paying y'all to not hit the like button. Yeah, man, but this is a prime example. Once you start to see taco shops on Crenshaw, your community has been gentrified. Way too many Mexicans living in these predominant black communities.
caption, Latinos trying to gentrify the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw district. We can't open a barbecue stand in East LA, Southgate, El Monte, or any other majority Latino community. We would have been run out of the community. This is the work of the Democrat.
Mexicans are not going to tolerate you putting black businesses in their community. So why should we tolerate them putting taco stands in our community? Makes no sense. It's over for Los Angeles. Black people should have woke up a long time ago to see what's going on.
I don't necessarily believe it's over. I believe it's a lot of changes that's about to occur with regards to this whole expansion of the Hispanic community that has been dominating and just swarming black communities, so much so that it's like black people can't even move. And it's most definitely almost feel like it's purposely. I'm so concerned with regards to this that I just necessarily one time I went into, man, numero uno, man, and this is some place that I just normally don't go, but I was interested. I don't know what I was looking for, some carne asada in me, because I do mess with tacos. I just want to be able to mess with my own tacos, and I don't want no street tacos, right? Because I do enjoy the cuisine, the culture in terms of the carne asada meat, because I'm trying out some some new stuff, right? Not necessarily from the Hispanic community, but on my own culinary journey, I guess you would say. However, just in out of experiment and working to numero uno, it was this site like, man, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, wow, this is the type of I come to indulge into your culture a little bit and show a little appreciation for your community. And this is how I necessarily get treated. Hey, you know what I'm saying? This is the level of disrespect that is coming to Los Angeles. With it comes to, I always say, black people is the coolest people in the world. When he's talking about how all this stuff is happening, it's because black people, we the coolest individuals in the world. Nobody can deny that, right? We the only community to where you can, move into, and you can feel comfortable with moving into, go about living your life with opportunities, and people is gonna respect you. Now, it's not to say that nothing is not gonna occur, you know what I'm saying? But I will say that we are so cool that, man, if you just doing you and you minding your business and you ain't bothering nobody else, we'll leave you alone. It's not necessarily something that we can say about other communities. For instance, East LA. You know what I'm saying? Only in certain areas around East LA. Around El Monte, around Lincoln Park. All these areas and where I didn't heard it myself from black individuals who have moved into these communities who have gotten harassed by the Hispanic community. And it's not to say I can't see myself not taking that lightly. I'm sorry. I'm not one to just like, brush it off my shoulder. Like, man, come on, man. If you don't knock it off, this is what I say. Black people are the coolest people in the world. It's now that these individuals are starting to get their numbers up, here they are, that switch is starting to happen to where they feel like they necessarily can show their true colors. And not only is the black people seeing this, actually the white people are seeing this too. And now here comes the big holdup. So I don't think that it's necessarily over for the city of Los Angeles. I think the reckoning is coming.
Party, and we must fight against this majority Latino community. We would have been run out of the community. This is the work of the Democrat Party, and we must fight against this agenda. And he is 1,000% right. It is the Democratic Party that allows that to go on. Now, how does the Democrat Party get into office? By the majority of black voters. It's just a fact. And so they use our votes and they go help everybody else. Now, since we're talking about Los Angeles, California, we can really just reduce it down to Mayor Karen Bass, who is a black mayor there. And we've seen her, especially last year during.
The land was never yours either. California was Mexico for 27 years, and you did nothing with it. Before the United States of America took over California, California was a dump. The United States made California great. Let me tell you Mexicans something, man. If California was still Mexico, you would be running to get the hell up out of there. You would be packing up you would be leaving by the boatloads, by the busloads. If California was still under Mexico's rule, Mexicans would not want to live there. Straight up. Look at all those Mexicans lining up to leave Mexico now. So that proves my point.
The ICE raids in Los Angeles, she's running through the park and she's trying to chase ICE out of there. And she's mad, right?
So there's 4 reasons why the Hispanic people the Hispanic community is leaving Mexico. One, they running away from the cartel, right? Two, they so it's there's three ways you're gonna be in Mexico. You gonna work for the cartel, you gonna work with the cartel, or you gonna be getting taxed by the cartel, right? Now the other reason why that's reasons for them wanting to be out here. Another reason is for this whole we want our land back idea, in which they are purposely coming over, particularly with the cartel and working with the Chinese government to actually come back over here and change the dynamics that is in this land, into which they feel like it's their land. And you learn this in the Chicano movement. This is something that is not hidden from within their community. So at first it was a thing of, okay, you know, we appreciating each other. Then some back around sometime in the early 2000s, it became then to a thing to where no, we don't necessarily fit in with you guys. So, you know, F you pretty much, and we our own community, we gonna do our own thing. Well, what happened to the Rainbow Coalition? What happened to us helping out the farmers that was in these fields and doing the jobs that necessarily black people didn't want to do because we wanted to branch out and do other things? What happened to, you know, you guys being the beneficiary of everything that we fought for in this country while we seemingly get denied? All our votes are going to other people, and like he's saying, going into other people to where we vote for people who are allowing us to get replaced and given the benefits. And it happens in Chicago most recently to where these people voted for, this black community voted for the development of the community funds to go towards the development of their community to help out, control the gang violence, bring back the culture back to the city of Chicago. And they gave all that money right to the illegal aliens, the illegal immigrants who had came from Venezuela. And now that money has been wasted because Trump is trying to kick them out.
And she's giving them these Angelino cards so that because they're afraid to go out of the house because they're gonna get snatched up by ISIS. So the Angelino card.
Man, why don't you protest against the cartel in Mexico, right? Why don't you make Mexico great? Huh?
And that's exactly what Trump is trying to do. Instead of having all these people coming out here trying to change the culture of the United States, Trump is saying, no, we going to kill the cartel. We going to knock them down. They're terrorists. And here we are. We're going to close this border. We're not going to allow individuals to come out here. And Mexico is going to have, man, this has been the thing to where even Cesar Chavez had to say, listen, it's different between you being a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant. And the difference is that even the illegal immigrant comes and take the legal immigrants' jobs. So how do you think the American citizen feel? I mean, this is something that came out of even Cesar Chavez's mouth. And he's got a lot of rap about him right now. It's not to say that he don't, but hey, I'm talking about this particular issue right now and how this woman has decided to pay for the rent of these individuals while the California is in the budget short for who is supposed to be keep on paying for stuff like this, for you only to allow for you individuals to keep on allowing the citizen to get replaced, and that's both white people and black people. What kind of party are y'all trying to draw up to where the government is getting taken over? And you don't understand that it's being taken over so much that they one day are going to turn their back on you.
See, when they say this is it don't matter, they're trying to do the same thing in Chicago. Chicago ain't never been Mexico. They want to do the same thing in Atlanta, Georgia. That ain't never been Mexico. So don't let them come with that fake ass excuse. Well, this was Mexico. It was Mexico for 27 years. You had a short run. It is over.
my ice. And so the Angelino cards, which she says, oh, you know, it's donations from, you know, different people, private donors, to give them money so they can buy food or whatever it is they can do because they can't leave the house. But they do absolutely nothing specifically for Black people there in Los Angeles, right? And so at the very least, okay, if Black folks are trying to set up a barbecue stand or whatever it is, leave them alone. Because y'all leave the Latinos alone. We know that for a fact. Like I said, each and every time I've gone to Los Angeles, I've seen it everywhere, and I don't see nobody running them off. I don't eat from there because, for one thing, I'm scared. Okay, but the other thing is like, do y'all even have permits, food handlers cards, or any of that kind of stuff? I don't know. I never see them get bothered, but I don't.
And besides the street vending thing, it's so many times to where I've seen brothers have actually gone to school for so many other trades and not able to get a job. They will call on the Hispanic who is illegal, who doesn't have the certifications, to actually, you know, do the job. And they see, this is the thing to where we have a problem with. They have all this on the job experience, and now because they have all this on the job experience, now they have made it that much harder for individuals to actually come and develop the skills just like they did. Instead, we got to go through some bigger loopholes to actually have the entry level to a job. So that is concerning. However, I want to get off this because it just goes to show the difference. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it even on the street level. It just goes to show the difference into how individuals are, how we've been getting treated, and it's not no, you know, disrespect to the Hispanic community, and it's just why Black people are tired. Why are we not fighting for you for a level of, and it goes into the level of disrespect. How are we going to disrespect ourselves just like you wouldn't want to get disrespected? And I don't see any Black people working in Hispanic restaurants. And I don't like being a consumer of Hispanic anything anymore because I don't want to get overcharged for stuff. I don't want to walk into it's not welcoming. You know what I'm saying? And it's not being hateful. It's the level of disrespect that I necessarily feel that comes from the community right now. And it's almost insulting. And then for us to go out there and want to protest with you when it is well known. It is well known, it is well documented that you guys are trying to come and take over. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live show. Always remember, man, like, share, subscribe to the channel. It's a good day to be a soldier.
They said transformation was impossible. Faith, facts, and fire. Tiny Cross-H.U.G style.